You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
This is Trevor Harris.
Hey, how you doing? This is number 58, Travis Bond.
This is Christoph Malomba Chimanga.
Hey there, this is your co-host, Kenny Stafford.
Hey, this is Ryan King.
Calvin McCarty.
And you are listening to...
You're listening to the Eskimos Empire.
Listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
The Eskimo Empire Podcast. Hope you guys enjoy listening.
Welcome back to the Turf District for the Eskimo Empire Podcast, and we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. I'm Andrew, and I'm joined, of course, by superfan Mike.
Ow.
Yeah, I bet. It's been a rough week for you, dude.
Yeah, it's been a rough week for all Eskimo fans, let's be honest.
It's true, but you extra so, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't the best week.
No.
I've had better.
Yeah, that was quite the wreck that somebody crashed into you.
Yeah, well, you know. I got a new car.
You did?
See?
The dad sled.
It's true, but
I'm really going back on the sled now. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can really... Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think I need to go with something else.
To be fair, I'd rather be in this sled if I hit a manhole cover.
That's true. You'd probably be better off.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, at least you crash and burn like the Eskimos. I mean, you're united in some way.
That's true.
Oh, my. Also joining us is Commissioner Kayla. How are you?
Oh,
Clearly well.
Yes.
Feisty. Yes.
very well.
Yeah.
Just got spunk.
A little salty this evening. Yes.
Well, that's just all I saw. I was like,
How was the rest of the weekend?
oh, it's great.
Yeah?
Didn't you see my sangria post?
I did see your sangria post.
Everything is always better with sangria.
So true. I will
and
not
a
argue.
fire and a barbecue and
Nice.
a lot of mosquito bites, but that's okay.
Where
it.
were you at?
My sister's wedding reception.
Oh, okay.
They came back from their honeymoon, and then we had a big one with like friends and family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
See,
awesome.
Was it like a backyard kind of
Yeah.
fire pit? kind of thing?
Potluck, barbecue.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah.
And I know you doing so much packing.
Yeah.
I don't envy you.
Yeah.
Nope. Just
I came to help yesterday.
You did. You were a very big help. And so was Riley.
Yeah, Riley did help out as
Quite
well.
a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was you have a lot of heavy boxes. With
On the plus side,
a lot of
now when
Eskimo
people
gear.
talk about the horde,
Yeah.
No, you get to see it
can-
firsthand.
Oh my.
no, we got to see boxes though.
Yeah, boxes
That
and
said
all the
No, but like-
horde. Yeah.
Yeah,
me
it says
tell you,
Horde. Horde
that's a
box
lot of
1,
carrying.
Horde box 2.
Horde box 76.
Yeah.
Horde box
both
1209.
both Mike and I are like, how much Robaxacet can I take
Yep.
this morning? Because
It's true.
yeah, little different reasons, but
Do you
still.
want to hire movers?
good.
I know they're expensive.
Did hire movers.
Yes, we just did the boxes part.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
and it
I
yes,
thought I had a lot of stuff.
wow, it is. Yeah,
Just, records and football.
yeah, it's great. I loved it.
Right.
I'm excited. I went to go see the movie yesterday,
Excellent.
and
The movie?
yes,
It's called The Movie?
it's called
movie?
Yesterday.
Who's on
Oh,
first?
the movie. Yeah. I saw
I went
the
to go
movie
see
yesterday.
the movie yesterday.
Okay, the
I
movie
went to
called
go see
Yesterday.
the movie that's called
Ah.
Yesterday. Yes,
The Beatles one.
yes.
Yeah.
Because those who might know, I am a rather large Beatles fan,
Didn't know.
You're sort of average sized.
and that's a good point. Yeah, I used to be large Beatles fan. Now I'm just kind of average.
You're not an extra large.
That's true. I am not an extra large anymore, which is nice.
The band and not the bugs.
Correct. Yes.
It's that too.
But in the movie, there is none, and so then every time he searches Beetle, it just comes up with the bugs.
Beetle, yeah.
Yes, because then he...
B-E-E.
Did
decides
you
to write
mean
the song.
Beatles with two E's?
That's right, yes. But I have to, it had some great laughs, and if you are a Beatles fan, it was really cool because he's bringing these songs back to people like they've never heard it before, so that belief
So he's
is
a
really
genius.
cool. Yeah, but it has some really, really good twists at the end, and
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. And there's not many movies there. My mom is like, I need to take you on a date to go see a movie, and I'm like, great.
Aw,
so
sweet.
nice to go and
Yeah.
hang out and watch the show. So highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun. And then on Saturday, I did my first 10K since the
How was that? So you got to do a 10K and the next day move boxes.
Yeah, I know.
Your body must love you.
Oh, yeah, I was really happy with me. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. There's a lot of fire truckers coming out of my muscles
best.
today. Anyway, lots of fun.
Are you doing the 5 with the Eskimos?
I can't because I'm going to the Labor Day game.
Yeah.
And it's on that. So, yeah, I was going to mention they're having that 5K where you finish at the 55-yard line. I thought this is a brilliant idea and would have loved to have taken part, but I'm going to be driving to Calgary right when it's happening. I'm surprised they didn't do it on the Sunday.
Right.
And then have people go to the game or run it a bit later and then have a giant watch party after.
No. Or that. But what Matt Preddy. Sorry. Preddy. Hi, Preddy. I think he suggested to have it on the rematch before the game so all the fans kind of like do a walk together and then meet at the stadium for that game.
And then there's the game. Yeah, that might be okay. Well, I think that might be a bit tough because they want to do like the barbecue type stuff afterwards on the field.
Oh.
So I see where they want to do it. The Labor
That'd
Day
be a good way to
just hard.
integrate the tailgate, though. Like, oh, hey, look at this tailgate, guys.
I like this.
Brilliant.
It's a brilliant plan. I know they all listen to us, so they should take that up for next year.
They got notes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we do. We provide notes.
Right.
Anyway, fun weekend overall, and I'm excited about that run when people get to do it.
Sure.
I'll be excited to hear about it as we're.
Hope it's a big success so that next year we can do it not on the Labor Day game.
Absolutely. I like this idea.
Yeah.
Although if they have a watch party, that would be really fun.
That'd be
a great
so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be down for that for sure.
I'd consider not going to Calgary, but I'd be lying.
Yeah, well, I would not go if I was going to have a watch party.
I'll be south of Calgary.
I love.
You'll be what?
South of Calgary.
Oh yeah.
That's the best game of the year in my opinion. I always have a blast. It's so much fun. Even though they lose most of the time, it's so much fun. I don't know what it is.
I like the rematch.
It's exciting. I like the rematch. Yeah, it's louder. The right team's getting cheered for.
Yes.
It's all good. Yes. All right. This week we are brought to you by the Edmonton Community Foundation. What is that, you say?
I do.
The foundation acts as a bridge between donors and charities to create a strong, vibrant community for generations to come. So you can start an endowment fund by yourself or with a group, and once it hits a certain level, it kind of distributes the funds out to different community projects.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they have a podcast, too. It's called the Well Endowed Podcast. A little bit, yes. Now, they talk about the impact of passionate people working to make the city of Edmonton a strong city to live in and how these endowments will actually work within the community. Those come out a couple of times a month. Make sure you can check that out or subscribe to them. You can follow them at thewellendowedpodcast.com.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really neat, actually. I didn't even know that existed until I got to look this up. So that's fantastic. So check out that podcast for sure.
For sure.
Let's talk about some Esks news. Now, to me, the biggest news in the past couple of weeks, it came out the day right after we recorded.
Yep.
Ricky Ray is headed to the Wall of Honor on September the 20th. And he'll also actually be honored again at the Esks annual dinner, which is 4 days later. And of course, he gets the call from his buddy, Jason Moss.
Perfect.
Right,
Chills.
in the feels.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think anybody who was a fan of the team, especially in that era, just it's hard not to get choked up when you're watching. And you could hear, I love, Morley said this the best, like, it says everything about Ricky's character when he's the guy who's surprised that he's going on the Wall of Honor.
Yeah.
Like
you could tell he was actually, when he's like, are you serious? Like he was actually, are you serious? Not just feigning like, I'm trying to be humble.
Yeah.
But it was actually...
Ricky doesn't pretend to be anything ever.
He is super...
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was very good. I am very, very excited for that game.
I can't imagine there's a single person shocked that he's going to be on the wall. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's going to be one of those guys.
Well, and I'm glad though that they've announced it now, but there's enough time for people to make sure that they plan to be there.
Yep.
It's just going to be a huge, and I hope that that's the only thing that goes on at halftime.
Yes.
I'm going to just say it right now. If they're doing it at halftime, there will be no West of Us that week because I know for the three of us, Ricky Ray meant a lot to all of us, and to be able to sit and to honor him and going on the wall, I think it's going to be
maybe before the tailgate, we'll play his first start.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Oh, he has hair.
He does have hair, and it's weird.
Yes,
but he cleaned up.
I'm saying, since the Eskimos are listening,
Absolutely.
we want one last pass to Jason Tucker in the corner.
Oh my gosh, I can't
Can you
even.
imagine? Not a dry eye in the house.
Hey, when Warren Moon went up,
Yep.
threw to Brian Kelly, one
He
last
did.
pass.
Yep.
It's got to happen.
I would love that. That would be so outstanding.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to see fans from all over the CFL come too. That'd be really neat to have. I think he was one of the most prolific quarterbacks of the CFL, at
Absolutely.
least for
Oh.
this generation.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how many teams he's played for, though.
Just the two.
just the
That's
two.
what I thought, but I
Edmonton,
didn't want
Toronto.
to say anything in case I
Yeah.
was wrong.
Yeah. No, just the two.
But
so,
still,
In the CFL, yeah.
yeah.
in the
that's
C.
true.
Oh yeah, no. But no, that'd be so amazing to see jerseys from all over the league.
Yeah. I
Paying
think
tribute.
so. It's going to be a special night.
Yep.
So round that one on the calendar. What is on? Let's see. I can
The
even
20th?
tell you that we will be doing barbecued mini pizzas
Yes,
for
we will.
tailgate that week. So we'll maybe try and make some little 15s or something. We'll see what we can do for that to celebrate Ricky as well. Now, a couple of things that not so great as far as the roster is concerned. Matt O'Donnell goes to the 6-game list, which means Saxlid did become the starter for
Yes,
this
sir.
past weekend. Jamichael Dean got moved to the active roster. And, of course, we got to welcome back the one and only Kwabena Asare.
Absolutely. Some
So-
definite positives there.
Yeah, found a silver lining in there.
Yep.
But boy, did we miss O'Donnell. So let's talk about that, shall we? The Edmonton loses this week 20-10 to a all of a sudden very hot, literally and figuratively, I guess, in Montreal, Alouettes team. So as we have done when we lose the game, we should probably talk about the bad first. So
If we can find some.
yeah, I mean, there's not much to choose from, but Kayla, you want to start?
Well, I kind of mentioned it on the Periscope, but everything I said in the last podcast that this team was doing, they did the exact opposite. But at least they're still unified, because, I mean, they're great together as a team, and they suck together as a team. So I guess there's consistency in that manner.
There is a bit of that. Yes.
I didn't... Weirdly, I recognized this team, but I didn't recognize this team because the offense was spluttering just like it was a few games prior. But
there's some execution issues, to say the least, yeah.
it just seemed like a big confusion mess ball.
Well, and I think, I don't know, I went back and watched as much of it as I could.
Why?
Oh, wow.
I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
I'm
that is
dedicated
That's a word.
loyalty.
to this podcast.
Not the word I would have chosen.
No?
No.
Crazy?
That was it.
Okay, good.
Ding, ding, ding.
Nice. I think, though, the tone was kind of set early when co-host Kenny dropped what would have been like a huge gain on 3rd and 2. Like, beautiful play. I'm thinking they're going for it on 3rd and 2. They're going to hand it off to Gable, and then this beautiful fake, and Kenny would have ran all day. And it's the only one he dropped, but it was just, like you said, it had that off feeling.
Something wasn't right.
And then you look at the rest of the game and all the stuff that normally doesn't happen. Harris throws 2 interceptions. Sean White misses 2 field goals. Like, it's just that those are all things that,
They
now
snowballed
granted,
for sure.
we kind of
You can
take
blame
for
David
granted.
Morley for that, though, because they even said we're
They said-
jinxing it by not saying that he's had no. Yes, you did.
Yeah, Dwayne Ford too. Yeah. Well, he hasn't had any interceptions. Shut up, Dwayne.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
okay.
Let's keep repeating it, shall we? Oh, look.
Yeah. It's anyway. It was pretty. It was just bad game. But Superfan, you got anything else you want to add on to the bad fire?
Good. Yeah. No, I'm
Get
fine.
your
We're all
bucket of
fine.
logs.
Is it burning in here?
Yeah,
What's going
exactly.
on?
Nope.
Yeah,
It's
and-
all fine.
Okay.
Yep.
That was an excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't crazy about seeing the lack of balance on offense, but I understood it.
Mm-hmm.
It was 46 degrees with the humidex out there.
Yep.
CJ Gable is not a small man. He's a large, fit running back, and you got to think he's just got to be sweating buckets out there, and it's just harder.
Yes.
As well, you've lost Matteo on the offensive line, so running inside the tackles is a lot tougher.
Yeah.
But that being said, the defense from Montreal is also playing in that heat, and I think if they would have just kept hammering at it, they would eventually have broken something.
Absolutely.
So that was definitely disappointing for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it's just those penalties. And it wasn't just the penalties, it's when they happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
and that was, that's what I was saying. Was just, we had 9 penalties for 80 yards. And on the last few weeks, we would have been like, hey, that's not so bad. But the timing of them
took one touchdown off and took 2 picks.
Yeah. Brutal.
And if they're scoring on those picks and we're not scoring on that touchdown play.
Right. And there's
that
the difference in the game.
Yeah,
absolutely. So just those small execution things that have been there for most of the games this year just weren't there in this game. So what are you going to do? Can't win them all.
No.
Come
Unless
back
you're
here.
Ryan.
Come back here. Well, no, they can't win it all
No,
either.
I know.
But or unless you're me in fantasy. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, but
let's not. Let's talk about Monday morning magic.
Let's talk about that. But no, I think it's a bad game. I think you get around it, you get back to work, and
It's a short
this week
week.
you turn it around and show what you're made of. There was some good in this game. In my opinion, the defense overall was playing very well, but they just had lots of time on the field.
And they allowed one too many points.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They still looked a little bit scattered in the
No,
secondary.
that's because you didn't want the over-under.
Because I took the under.
How is that line, though, right? 19.5, I said. Oh, that was a good line. Anyway.
What line?
Last week, I said what was the betting line was 19.5 points for Montreal. And
right.
we said over because I figured they'd get 20, and
What did I
they
say?
got 20. You said
Under.
over.
Okay.
Did you?
No,
That's right.
you said over.
Me
You
and
said
Jeremy.
under. Yes, exactly.
I just figured the Eskimos would be over that too.
Well, me too.
Didn't we all?
I did expect that. Yes. I think Mondo had a massive game, though.
Yeah, I think so.
He was pushing guys around crazy.
Well,
No heat gonna stop
it's
that man.
Speaking of guys that will one day be on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
No
If not-
question.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's going on the wall.
If not,
Yeah.
though, there will be a riot.
Absolutely. Pitchforks.
Yes.
I mean, there were a lot of guys that I think had some fairly decent games. I think Larry Dean had a great game. He had 7 tackles.
That is correct.
Mike Moore wasn't doing too badly as well. He had a sack. He had a penalty, unfortunately.
Yep.
I thought Martese Jackson did a fairly decent job as well. He improved his average.
Right. Not by tons, but yes.
Not by tons, but again,
Yeah.
I think he had a 15-yard average.
He did a lot of early game run one way, turn
Yeah.
the other
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
and
that
they're starting
heat,
to
though.
catch on to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the heat. That's what I was like.
It's slowing him down, so his
Yeah.
speed is getting down to human speeds instead of superhuman speeds.
It's very true.
I think that if this would have been played in a 22-degree game, we might have seen a different result. I'm not saying we would have won,
No.
but I think we would have, performed better.
Yeah. I can.
Live and learn.
Did you
Prepare.
find any good in the game there, Kayla?
Not much.
No?
Good donuts.
Good. No.
No.
Excellent.
The one thing that actually I did really appreciate was, can you drop the ball literally and figuratively in the first little bit? But Moss still had trust in him,
Yep.
and he proved himself why they should have trust in him. And he just came. Did he have the most catches? The most yards?
No.
No, I don't think so. I
Ricky
think Ricky
Collins
Collins
had- Oh,
Jr.
did he?
had the
Okay.
most yards, but
Okay.
but he caught everything else
Yeah,
that
after
came
that,
to him,
he
and
would-
he caught that touchdown pass.
Yeah,
if
that
there wasn't the
beautiful-
penalty,
yeah.
that
Beautiful
would have been
catch.
a highlight of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Easily. That was a beautiful catch.
So I just love
Yeah.
seeing that because, when you have faith in your receivers and you know what they're capable of, and sometimes you just got to shake off nerves. I don't know if it's because it was in Montreal. I don't know. The heat, who knows? The point is that he came back and he actually redeemed himself to be the receiver that we know he is. And I think that's a really big positive to have, not only that leadership, but that consistency with a guy that, my bad, I made a mistake.
Yep.
Let me show you why I'm on this team.
Yep. Nope.
So.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I did have a what the but you already kind of said it. Gable only sees the ball 8 times.
But again, I think it was understandable.
To some degree, yes, but I still think that if you don't at least attempt some balance.
I think that they
Right?
maybe started subbing in a smaller back.
Oh, maybe.
You know, maybe if they would have had Alex Taylor or, something like that.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't feel like a lot of lanes were created for CJ, though, because usually he can
No.
break away. And this game, he was just spluttering and not by his own
But
volition.
he was getting like 5 yards on his first couple of carries. I'm like, why are you going away from it?
Well, exactly.
He's getting 5 yards.
Yeah. Henoch Mwamba, that definitely makes a difference. So we'll give him some points there. All right. Well, I didn't end up putting up the vote for player of the game because I was busy moving boxes. Kind of forgot about it.
That's true.
But can we pick anybody but Mondo? Really?
I mean, yeah. I think Mondo had the best game.
Yes.
But I think we've mentioned a few of them. I thought Taekwon Glass had some good stuff.
Yeah.
With a return, too.
Yeah, he did have that one return. Yeah.
I was like, what?
19.
Why is he? Okay. No, Jimmy Gaines award winner shows up and does some stuff, so that was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm always okay with choosing Mondo.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I figured. Yeah, I thought, especially in that first half, I mean, he was dominant. That stop on 3rd and 1 when he broke through on and took Stan back 2 yards, like, man, oh man, there are not many guys in this league that can come up the middle like that. So
we're just running out of superlatives to say for him and his play.
Yeah, absolutely. There's none left.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a beast.
Yep.
All right, let's take a very quick break, and then we will come back with our CFPN game preview, this week's pick'ems and fantasy picks, and a brand new Esks history moment.
Hey, this is Jed Roberts, and you're listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
You can join the Empire online.
Find us at eskempire.ca.
Check out all the new blogs and then follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
For more history, follow at Esks History on Twitter.
And even more of my picks on Esk Empire Photo.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to help the pod grow. Thanks again for listening. Let's get back to the show. Welcome back. Before we get to the history segment, let's talk about another great show on the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. This week, I'm recommending the Mess Hall podcast with Avery.
Cool.
He talks to comedians and other people about food, mostly in Alberta. Last week, he actually had Karen Anderson from the Alberta Food Tours. And that title sounds amazing all on its own.
Yep. Good timing with Taste of Edmonton on.
Absolutely. And then about a month ago, he had Eric Fraser on. Now, he's a former CFL player that takes on food challenges.
Oh, I smell a contest.
Oh, it's so exciting. So super, super fun. Talks about food. And you can find all of his shows at messhallpodcast.podbean.com. And of course, check out all the other great shows at albertapodcastnetwork.com. That's albertapodcastnetwork.com. That's right. I just like saying
Why are you
that
on
way.
radio?
I love it. Yes. All right, everyone. It is time once again as we travel back to the past in our Eskimo history moment.
Let's hear you cheer and holler for a mighty famous team. Let's hear you roar, you know what, for a team that's on repeat. Our voices rise up to the skies, the fans are glad to scream. We love those Eskimos.
Welcome back to the Esks History Moment. Today, we're going to look back at what we consider now to be the greatest draft in Esks history. We've talked about the 2015 draft, where every player selected that year was signed by the Eskimos and made our team. You could say that 2017 was a rousing success. Names like Christoph Malama-Shimanga, Mark Mackey, Jordan Hoover, and of course, Earth Kwaku Boateng all were selected that day and have started at various times in games. Still others would say that 1987 topped them all as the Eskimos took Blake Marshall, Todd Storm, Pierre Vercheval, Mark Norman, and Tony Spallettini that season, all of whom contributed, with Marshall being a huge force at fullback and Pierre Vercheval entering the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. For our money, however, one draft topped each and every one of those. With a tip of the cap to 1974, which saw Dave Fennell, Bill Stevenson, and Stu Lang become Eskimos.
Good year.
This one goes 2 decades earlier, and these players weren't even drafted by the Eskimos. Today, we'll look at the 1953 NFL entry draft.
What? Weird.
In the 1950s, Canadian football was able to compete with the National Football League for players. The dollar was close to par between the countries, and at times the Canadian dollar even eclipsed its American cousin. Canadian football never drafts American players. However, it's the players they signed who were drafted by American teams that show us just how strong this crop of players really was. This draft didn't take long before the first future Eskimo was selected. The second overall pick in the first round was by the Baltimore Colts, who took Heisman Trophy winner Billy Vessels as their pick. Vessels, as many know, eschewed the Colts to come north to seek his fortune and ended up in green and gold on February 14th, 1953 on a sweetheart of a Valentine's Day deal. Vessels was an instant sensation, leading the league in rushing in his rookie professional season and captured the inaugural Schrenly Award for Most Outstanding Player to cap his incredible season, leading the Eskimos to a 12-4 record as a true triple threat, running, passing, and returns, scoring touchdowns in all three phases. His 4-to-1 TD to interception ratio passing the ball would be considered outstanding today, but in 1953 it was unheard of, and his 926 yards along the ground surpassed second-place Rollie Miles by over 100 yards. Vessels only played one season for the Eskimos, but it was one that was remembered for decades afterwards, and those that saw him still talk about him to this day. Vessels wasn't the only first-rounder to end up north of the border. 8 selections later, the San Francisco 49ers' 10th overall pick, two-way end Tom Stolhansky out of the University of Texas, also played for that 1953 team under headman Darrell Royal. Stolhansky was a fierce blocker at the tight end spot and scored 4 touchdowns through the air in his lone season as an Eskimo, often springing Vessels for a long gain or even receiving passes from his fellow first-round pick. The second round of the 1953 draft saw another pick journey to Canada to try his luck in Edmonton for that 1953 season. Oklahoma quarterback Eddie Crowder, selected 22nd overall with the New York Giants' second pick, headed up the offense for the Eskimos in 1953, alternating with fellow Sooner Claude Arnold at the quarterback position. Crowder started 4 games, leading Edmonton to wins in all 4, but with the severe limitations to how many imports a team could carry in a year, was a victim of the numbers game, and his career in Canada ended up being limited to a single season. Crowder went on to further glory, first as an assistant under legendary Oklahoma headman Bud Wilkinson, before a successful career as the head coach at the University of Colorado from 1963 through 73, returning respectability to that college's football program, winning 3 bowl games during his tenure. One more player in the early rounds of that 1953 NFL draft suited up for the hometown Eskimos, backfielder Bill Rokamp, selected out of Missouri by the Chicago Bears with the 30th overall pick. If you look for stats from that 1953 season, you won't see a whole lot for Bill. Highly touted in camp, Rokamp was knocked out for the season on the first play of the season opener against Winnipeg, snapping his Achilles, returning the opening kickoff 40 yards before going down in a heap. Sounds kind of familiar. Yeah. Rokamp returned for the 1956 season, playing respectfully, but all that promise displayed in camp and his all-star turns in college had faded by then, and he did not go beyond that last year in Edmonton. No future Eskimos were selected in the NFL draft that season until the 325th overall pick, which in those days meant the 27th round.
27th round?
There was only 12 teams back then, remember?
Wow.
The Giants took a flyer on a quarterback who had suffered a lot of childhood injuries, and he plummeted down the draft board round after round. Then eventually the Giants made him an offer to join their team, but he chose to come to Canada because his wife said she liked Edmonton better. In Edmonton, we truly owe a lot to his wife, Peggy Jo, or else Eskimo fans may never have heard the name John Dickerson Jack Parker.
Thanks, Peggy.
Jackie Parker came to the Eskimos' attention when his former Mississippi State backfield coach, Darrell Royal, tipped off the team as a parting gift after heading back to his former job with the Bulldogs. Edmonton was losing backfielder Billy Vessels to the draft, and needed someone with the same flexibility to run, pass, and defend, all while knowing the intricacies of Royal's split-T offense. Edmonton had signed 1954 first-round NFL draft pick Bernie Filoni to head up the offense, but Jackie's versatility couldn't be denied, and he signed with Edmonton, despite being offered nearly double by the Giants on May 14th, 1954, and cemented his legacy with Edmonton and Canadian football over his years playing three-down football. Drafts come and go over the years, and Edmonton's draft record lately has been showing some high-caliber players suiting up for the team we all love. But it's unlikely we'll ever see a crop of players as outstanding as the Eskimos taken on January 2nd, 1953 in Philadelphia.
Going for a touchdown. Going for a touchdown. Going for a touchdown. We love those Eskimos.
All right, well, thank you, Superfan. That was excellent, as always.
That's kind of fun.
I love it. It's very fun. Let's get to our game preview, shall we? The Esks are back home this week for a Thursday night tilt against the struggling Argos. Now, lots of reasons to be at the game. $22 tickets for general admission. Kids under 17 are free. You can use your ticket for the K-Days admission on the Friday. $2.25 hot dogs, $5.25 beer.
And it's football for the first time in 5 weeks.
Come on. And poutine at the tailgate.
Oh, hells yes.
Come on. There's no reason why we can't get more people out to this game.
I'm hoping
so too. Hey, you know what? And you time it right. As you leave the stadium, the fireworks will go for K-Days, and you'll get to see them too. Like, it's an added bonus.
Brill.
Right.
Stop. Is that every night? Fireworks?
Yes, every night they do them.
I thought it was only on the weekends for some reason.
Every night at 11. Trust me, I live close enough. Every night at 11.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
.com.
Yeah. no, that's not a .com. Yeah. Plus,
should be.
There will be an early game, and we will have that on the TV at the tailgate.
Oh, that's true.
Lots of fun reasons to come down. Enjoy some football, and get ready for the big game where we find a way to bounce back.
Not Kayla's favorite food. Has a fork.
No, it does have a fork. That's true.
You could use your fingers.
Oh, yeah. I make exceptions for poutine.
Okay.
I just stuff my face on.
Exactly. Strap the feed bag on and go.
Again, not a video podcast, but that was
Too bad. Bad.
People will understand from my laugh. That's
she will
good.
understand the nom nom.
That's very
exactly.
good. Yes. Our Uncle BD stats moment for this week. Now, I specifically picked this for you, Superfan.
Thank you.
The Esks are 24-8 when rushing for 100-plus yards.
It's not rocket science, people.
And they are 19-1 when they have 10-plus first downs rushing. So, a.k.a.
Again.
Run the damn ball, right?
Run, fire trucker, run.
That's right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Other stat, now Harris's ball distribution, I better be careful how I say that.
Yes.
T-Sniper's passing distribution.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Has been very interesting, actually. They did a breakdown of it. Ellingson, 21%. Collins, 16%. Stafford, 16%. Ajay, 14%. Gable, 13%. And everyone else on the team, 20%. So the ball is getting spread out.
Now, is that passes or is that catches?
That's catches. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think that Collins would be higher normally.
Yeah, well, probably, yeah, just for targets.
Yeah, because he had a few drops this last game.
Absolutely, yes.
But he also had the most reception.
He had the most yards. So I do like the distribution, though. The hard part is if you're playing fantasy, you don't know which player to pick.
You don't say.
Yeah, unless you're me and you pick Stafford, and he's the one that catches and should have had that damn touchdown. Anyway, whatever, I won anyway. But still, I like how he spreads it out. Keep it going, Trevor. For the Argos side of the ball, we go to our CFPN game preview. So check out all the shows, of course, on cfpodnetwork.ca. This week, we welcome the Argosfancast into the Turf District and talk to the one and only Clay. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. I mean, all things considered, not winning a game and all.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you about McDermott, but we've been there and we feel your pain.
Yes. One good play does not make a special teams coach.
No. Granted, that's one more return than he got when he was here. So I guess we'll slightly give him that. But other than that, absolutely feel every moment of your pain. So I don't want to rub that in. But obviously, with the team, it's been a bit of a struggle this year. I've seen small improvements in every game, though, and I don't think that the Eskimos are at this point where we can take this team lightly. But what have been kind of the biggest improvements for you over the last couple of games?
You know what? The especially in the last game, the play of Micah Alway and Ian Wild at linebacker. Ian Wild, the previous game. Yes. But Micah Alway has just shown up head and shoulders above everybody in that linebacking core and really brought home the reason we brought him in here. The other side of the ball, while our offensive line play hasn't been great, if you look at the numbers for McLeod Bethel Thompson law firm, he's actually done very well for himself. Just stats wise, in 4 games he's got over 1,000 yards and 87 of 114. So that's a pretty good percentage. Albeit he's thrown 7 interceptions, which really doesn't help at all. Yeah. But he has shown that he can actually move this offense. He's making his reads. It's there's a whole host of other problems. Once we fix one, something else pops up.
It's very true.
It's like plugging the leak on the Titanic some days. We've been there.
Yeah.
So they talked about on the broadcast how Toronto's spending a couple of weeks out in Alberta, so on a really extended road trip. What do you think about that and how that's going to help your team playing in Alberta?
Well, other than they didn't schedule it correctly when I was out in Alberta, right. They were in Winnipeg. I was in Calgary. Then I left, and then they came to Calgary. Yeah, they do this every year, and a lot of Eastern teams will do that where they have the 2 or 3 games out west, and they use it more as a good team bonding. Usually, when your team's down in the dumps where the Argos have been, you get them together for that long, and you're going to start to find some positives. People are going to start to be more real with each other, and instead of being all political and not necessarily calling everybody out, and you kind of hash things through and develop that chemistry that you need.
And that kind of worked for Hamilton last year too. I remember in Calgary where they had it was like the first fights they had at practice, but it was enough that kind of sparked the team and they started to play a bit better. So you never know if that, triggers, like you said, having those guys together for that long.
It's a gut check time for sure.
We absolutely never know because look at Montreal right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like full turnaround. Well, I mind you, it's only been 3 games, but yeah. What a turnaround.
But 3 games.
Anyway, This is the Argos. So is there a key Argos player we should be watching more closely in this game?
For me, because James Wilder is out this week, I'm going to be watching the play of Brandon Burks. He's a different style of runner than James Wilder. James Wilder's a downhill, upright, straight ahead, old school runner, where Brandon Burks is more of that scat back, and he's kind of in the same vein as a Sutton, where he can actually power through you, but he can also make a turn and make you miss in a phone booth. I'm hoping to see something out of that because, obviously we've been behind the 8 ball and haven't used in the running game. I want to see them try and establish that early, but Brandon Burks is the guy that I'm watching for sure.
Awesome. Now, is there any other kind of keys to the game that you would say that was going to help the Boatmen?
Well, other than score more points than your opponents, not give
fair.
up
That's a good one.
touchdowns. You know what? Honestly, I need to see improvements across the board. On offense, yes, I mentioned Brandon Burks, but I need to see better play out of the tackle positions. We haven't gotten that, and that's where all the sacks have been coming on around the edge. In order for the Argos to win, they need to keep Bethel Thompson upright, give him a little bit more time, and that's got to come from the tackle positions. Those have almost been somewhat of a rotating door with injuries and somebody not playing well, moving one guy to the other side, trying to figure out what works. On defense, same thing that you want to do with just about any quarterback who can put up crazy numbers is force them into those low percentage passes. And, we all know Trevor Harris, if you give him that high percentage pass, he's going to take that all day, every day, and just chew up the yards that way. But you need to get him into those high or low percentage passes so that he's going to have that low incompletion percentage that you need to beat a Trevor Harris run team.
Awesome. Well, I know it's going to be an exciting game. I know it's a Thursday night, so we're hoping that we can bring out a crowd to get behind our team. But
Late start for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it's starting 9:30 your time, I believe.
That's nothing.
There'll be a lot of people calling in sick next day.
We're just on a string of Thursday nighters. We get to see lots of different people play at halftime now. Because our next game is also a Thursday night in Toronto.
Oh, nice, excellent. Who's playing at that one? Do you know?
That would be Classified.
Oh, interesting.
You can't tell us?
Yeah.
Well done, super fan. All right, well,
country, so that's
Clay,
kind of really.
Yeah, I know. No, country only goes to the places that don't like country. Tell everyone where they can find your show and where they find you online, so they can catch up with more Argos Fancast.
Well, the Argos Fancast is simply find us at Argos Fancast on Twitter. We've got the link to everywhere we post our show, and you can just search us on anywhere you find your friendly neighborhood podcast. Just specifically Google Play, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Search Argos Fancast. And as for me, you can find me at All Kinds of Clay on Twitter, and if you care to find out what's going on with my family, I do some stuff on Instagram under the same name, but primarily I have a lot of fun on Twitter as All Kinds of Clay.
Outstanding. Well, thanks, man. I really appreciate you coming on, and as per usual, we will wish you the best of luck next week.
Yeah.
And I hope all of those things that you say come true next week.
Argos fans don't abandon ship.
That's right.
They need your loyalty.
Thanks so much, man.
All right. Have a great night.
All right, we are back. That was awesome, and thank you very much to Clay for joining us. Tons of fun to have some of the guys on to talk about all their other teams.
Oh, tough season for them, though.
Absolutely. He's staying fairly positive. He's still fun.
It's true.
I'll give him points for that.
Hey, his Riders won.
So. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's never good for us, but I'm glad.
For him, I meant.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
It's easier to be positive. It's like, yeah, but the Riders won.
But
well, nowhere to go but up, really, if you're at rock bottom.
That's true. Yeah.
You can stay.
And they can do that next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
As I said.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Not this week, let's talk about the Eskimo side of the ball. We talked about the keys to victory for the Boatmen. What are the keys to victory for the Eskimos? Superfan, I'll start with you this time.
Have the temperature go below 40. That'll help.
That will help, yes.
That is
We're in Edmonton. Safe to say it'll be below 40.
Well, I mean, 38 tomorrow or something. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
When this comes out.
Okay.
I was knocking on wood.
Oh.
I just didn't want to
make
vibrate.
The noise. I do appreciate that.
I think if we can see, I mean, you said it in the stats moment, if we can get some way more touches for CJ and just catch the damn ball.
Yes. Less push-ups?
Less push-ups, less penalties, more wins.
This sounds like a trend. Something that we've
like
said
broken
before.
Record.
I've heard this before somewhere. Let's go back and listen to any of the other podcasts of this year.
Let's take that
less
record.
push-ups, less penalties. That would be good.
It's true.
Excellent. Kayla?
What? Keys?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Play like you did against BC. I think that's a pretty good key.
Pretend it's Mike Riley back there.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Get hungry.
Seems to be working. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say get some turtle meat ready, but I guess
that's not okay.
Well, it is for me.
It's 3 last names, dude.
It's 3 last names.
Turtle soup.
Go after the law firm.
McLeod Bethel Thompson? No.
Yes.
That's correct.
McLeod Bethel Thompson?
Correct.
Okay. You wouldn't
Thompson
think that. McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Again, 3 last names, no first name.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Last Name.
Just put him together with Philip Michael Thomas and you're laughing.
That's right. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean, I would also say that. I would also try to get better field position when returning the ball.
Like your special teams, you mean?
Yeah,
Or-
with special
okay,
teams. Clearly, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Play like a team. Well, a good team, I should say.
Yes.
Not a sucky one.
We play like a team.
Like a good team.
Like a good
That's
one.
good, yeah.
Turn down the suck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Turn down the turn up the touchdowns. My bad.
Okay, I like that.
And a few sacks wouldn't hurt as well.
We
really.
seem to be okay
Well,
at
Yeah,
not us
yeah.
anyway.
Well, no, obviously. Come on now.
Might hurt them.
Honestly.
that. Yes.
I tighten up the O line definitely. Trevor was definitely panicking a few times. You could see it.
That first interception that he threw was totally because the guy was about to hit him.
Yeah, even when that ball
He
came
threw it in
out, it was
panic.
like you could
Yeah.
see, like he wasn't super wobbly in
was a duck.
slow-mo, but it was enough to just like
Mwah.
ah.
Yeah.
But what? Add what?
Affleck.
Affleck.
Oh,
The duck. Yeah.
Not Ben Affleck.
No.
no, but that's where my mind goes.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, still, that was a
Better
good
than
one.
ugly Sidney Crosby.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel bad for him right now. Can't kick a person when he's down too much.
But you can kick him when he's down.
Yeah.
Within reason.
But not too
But then maybe a foot tap. A foot tap.
foot tap could still put him out for another 6 games.
It's true.
Well,
Be
him,
careful,
not
yeah.
many other people.
Yeah, that's very true.
He was very talented at that. Sorry, that's so me.
Nobody
That
does it
was-
better.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to agree with what you guys said for sure. As far as keys, I think the big one for me was reduce the penalties.
Yeah.
Just get them, or at least there's football penalties and those are going to happen.
Yeah.
But just, I think they're coming at like the crappiest time. So they got to get a little bit better at that.
Like
And-
yeah.
And,
Sorry.
And the other thing is, I think you got to be cautious because, like Clay said, with Burks coming in, he is a different type of running back. Don't let this guy get space. That front seven's got to be aware of him.
Yeah, I think the big advantage we have for Burks is that last year the guy that saw Burks a lot was Larry Dean.
Right.
So I'm thinking that's going to be at least a little bit of an advantage here. So
Yeah, well, we can definitely hope for that. Yeah.
Well, and I'm not to say that I'm glad that they lost Montreal, but maybe it'll kind of kick them back into a little bit of a reality where just because like a team may have been struggling prior to doesn't mean that you have to give them any kind of
they can turn around next week.
They're
That's right.
this team, so
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like you never know what
If they
happens
had
in the
beaten
CFL.
Montreal, I think then this could be definitely a trap game.
This would
Yeah.
most definitely be a trap.
But
So-
I think losing Montreal helped.
So maybe
yes.
there's like a little bit of you can't tell right now, but maybe a little bit of silver lining. Who knows? But don't underestimate your opponent ever. I
Yeah.
don't think that they would. I don't think Jason Moss would let them. But just to reiterate, do not underestimate anybody,
Yes, absolutely.
even the Argos.
Considering the pundits put us at 5th in the West, the fact that we have a chance to be 4-2 a third of the way through the season,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
we would have
We'll
taken
take
that.
that. Yeah, absolutely. You take that for sure. Yeah.
Especially with the Riders winning.
Yes.
Especially if we can go 5-1 in the next and then 6-0 in the last. And
I'd be quite
Yeah.
all right with that.
and then 2-0 to finish off the year.
Perfect.
Oh,
I like this.
lovely.
Yeah, I like
A
that.
big old champagne shower in the Calgary dressing
Win the
room.
West Final.
I'd be okay with that. All these are good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Win the Great.
Players? What player are you watching this game, Commissioner?
Oh. Well, now that you said Larry Dean seeing a little bit more of Burke, you know what? It is Burke, right?
Yes.
You just said the right
Yeah,
name.
Burks. Yeah.
Sometimes my tongue and my brain don't match.
Okay. Well,
You know this.
we've all been there.
Well, I'm always there.
Some of us just all the time, man.
Yeah, exactly. Nice wave.
Yeah.
Not a video podcast.
Yeah. Most people who met me would be like, "Oh yeah, that's you."
That's okay.
Yes.
So Larry Dean.
Larry Dean?
I thought you were like putting a crown on your head or something. Just the way your hand was going up, it was so like
Prince Mike.
Prince.
Over there. Yeah.
Yes. And to shorten everything, yeah, Larry Dean. I think
Larry
I'm
Dean.
going to
Great pick.
watch him.
Larry
Yeah.
Dean.
Larry Dean. That's right. That was really close,
There we
actually.
go.
You've been practicing your Paul.
It's true.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I'm going to
Oh, I
leave it
missed that
right
guy.
there because I thought it was still funny that
Yeah.
way. Okay. Super fan. Who are you watching?
I'm going to go with Nick Usher.
Nick Usher.
I think that he's. We're going up
That's
against.
very skexy of me. You're welcome.
Very sexy of you?
No, skexy. Did you not watch The Dark Crystal? Seriously.
Last week we talked about shows that we haven't seen?
Oh, God.
Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Dark Crystal? It was at the same time.
Yeah, I think that we're going up against a weaker offensive line.
You don't say.
And, I think we're going to get tons of push from that middle. Mondo and Moore are going to be just feasting. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Kwaku, we know, is going to be outstanding. Nick Usher, it was a little quieter the last game, and I think that he's going to have a return to form here.
Okay.
I like that.
That's a good pick. Absolutely. I am going to be watching Martise Jackson this week because...
his old team.
His old team. We all know who the coordinator is on the other side of the field.
Both of them.
And we all know how many times return has happened against the Argos. We need a little bit of a boost. So go Martismo, go.
Go.
Right down the field. I am going to hope that we finally get to cheer for one of those. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Now, Esk stats, or an Esk stat to bet on this week. I thought I'd have a little bit of fun because we've been pushing for Gable to get the ball.
Yes.
And his last couple of games, he's got the ball, more in the BC game, obviously, than the Montreal game, but he's had a little bit lower numbers. But Toronto is allowing the most yards running on the field right now. So we're going to go with Gable rushing yards.
Yards?
Yes,
yards. Carries you were going.
Yards at 99.5.
100 or not?
You got it. Start with you, Superfan.
Yeah. I'm going to take the over. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to have a bounce back game, and in the fourth quarter, we're going to see a heavy dose of CJ.
Okay.
We're going to be feeding them some Carl's Jr.
Okay. And, excellent.
Yes, I know. It sounds good that way, doesn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of carries, and I think we're going to see a lot of yards.
All right. Over or under?
Oh, over.
Oh, over. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Even before you said a number, I was like, over.
All right.
270 yards. Over.
Lots of yards. All the yards.
Just the way that the scheme is kind of... I'm going to go under.
Mix it up.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to go under. I think we still win, but I'm going to go under.
Because he's picking Martise Jackson. He's hoping that he's going to have
That's
the...
right. Go Martise. That's right.
How many carries?
How many carries by CJ Gable? Interesting.
Let's say we set it at 17.5.
Under.
Carries?
Yep.
Under.
Oh, I think it's going to be over.
Okay. All right. Well, this is fun. Now we have 2 ones.
20 carries at 5 yards a carry would be 100 yards. So.
Touché. But I think he's going to get some
long ones?
Pew!
All right.
Well, I think he's going to go over. I think we're going to be leading, and then they're going to run the ball.
I hope
you're
right.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I want you to be right.
So under and under, and I'm over and over.
17.
Yes.
And she's over under.
Over under.
I'm a centrist.
So
I was over under, and he was overdone.
That's right. I've always been overdone. Okay, pick'ems. Now, in our league that we have a new leader this week.
Oh, do we?
Yes, Tina Banshee.
Tina!
Is sitting in first. She's out of Hamilton. Did very well this week. So I'm sitting in 47th, and you're in
There
36th.
you go. You
Isn't
got the
that
Larry Rock.
You guys didn't move much.
Or the
not
Moloid.
Consistency.
Well, I like Larry Rock. It's good. Yeah, I prefer Larry Rock. All right, let's pick our other games then. Now, Calgary versus Ottawa. This one is in Ottawa. This will be the early game that will be on at the tailgate.
Sure will.
So, Kayla, who do you have in that game?
In Ottawa? Well,
It
but
is
I'd
in
like
Ottawa.
to think that would make a difference, but I'm not sure if it actually will.
And so?
It's just like Calgary's coming up like vomit.
That is their slogan this year.
Yeah. So
Coming up like vomit.
That's my
right.
choice.
So, stamps then?
Yeah. And
All
not
right.
Fred.
Okay, yeah, not the good stamps. Okay. Superfan?
Yeah, I really, really don't want to pick the stamps.
Yeah.
But I have to.
But yeah.
Jennings hasn't, he didn't have a whole lot of success throwing the ball.
No, 31-1 is not a great score.
Breaks my heart.
Well, no, it sure isn't. But again, even if you look at his numbers, sometimes, the game was closer than the score. It really wasn't.
No.
So,
No.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for Ottawa to sort of come back from this. They had a great start of the season.
Yep.
Since then, it's
really
not so much.
Thelma and Louise right off the
and
cliff.
Calgary's defense has been on an uphill, like trending up.
Yep.
In the last few weeks, so I'm going to give this one to Calgary too.
You don't have to talk about it,
Well, I'm just saying they did. All right. Winnipeg versus Hamilton. This one in the Hammer.
Yes, sir.
Super fan.
Winnipeg gets their first loss.
Yeah!
Really?
Yeah, I'm going with the Holy Mazzoli.
Wow. I already know what Kayla's picking.
I think Winnipeg has had, obviously a 5-0 start is great to any season.
Yep.
But I think it's masked some problems that they've had.
Okay.
When they beat us, it was not a convincing win
in
Winnipeg.
Yeah.
I think Hamilton's going to turn it around. And
all right.
New best friend.
So, Kayla, not that I have to ask at this point, but you're going with?
They're losing.
Winnipeg is losing. All right, you're going to.
It's their time has come, and the Holy Mazzoli will reign on the mountain of triumph.
That is a very good visual. I like it.
Just like your crown.
Yes.
Prince
lovely.
Mike.
Just even the words. Rain on the mountain.
Wow. That's amazing.
Holy Mazzoli, I'm excited.
Okay. I hope you're right, but I'm picking Winnipeg. Okay.
That's why you're 47.
That's why I'm 47.
It's okay, well... It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's funny.
That's all I got, because once we get to fantasy, it's going to...
Should we let him on the mountain?
Go Winnipeg.
Or just
Go tell him on that. Well,
watch him at the gates and
maybe
be like,
base
sucker.
camp.
Yeah. Base camp. Thanks. Appreciate
Never
that.
reached the summit.
That's fine. Keep my TV all to myself. Saskatchewan versus BC, the rematch of last week's slaughter. Well, I guess it wasn't really a slaughter, but Mike Riley might tell you different.
Right.
I am going to go with BC in this game. I think the home team finds a way to turn that around. It's hard to beat a team 2 weeks in a row, and I picked BC last week and they lost, so I'm going to pick BC this week and hope they win.
Good.
It made sense, didn't it?
It did.
Sure.
Absolutely.
In the mind of Anne.
Kayla?
I didn't...
47th. That's right. That's all I'm saying. 47.
You could... Yeah, well... At least you're playing.
That's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, so I don't really know what I'm looking for at.
Okay.
I know that BC's not doing well, obviously.
Yes.
And the Riders are kind of meh.
They're in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, they can be good, can be bad. Things that are good, things that are obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick with a little gumption here, and I also am going to choose the Lions because I think there's only so much Mike Riley will take before he just... I don't know. This team has to turn around.
You'd think so.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Like, they're just too good.
This is the way to do it. Yeah.
They have everything they need, but for some, it feels like we have everything, but it's just not meshing. And I don't want them to mesh too well.
No.
But I don't want them to suck. I like a challenge throughout the year, so...
Yeah, and plus we've already won the season series.
Exactly.
So they can be fine now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Super fan?
I'm going to disagree with both of you. I think Saskatchewan's going to take
Get off my mountain.
I don't want them to, but that offensive line is just too much of a problem.
That was outstanding.
That was great. Totally not making base camp.
No. No, you are not.
I think that Saskatchewan has improved slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't think BC has.
That's fair.
I'm not seeing a lot of improvement yet, and Mike
true.
Riley looked the most defeated I have ever seen him at the end of that game.
It's so sad.
Yeah. It is sad. Yeah,
and I think that if they can get in his head early in that game, it's going to be frustrating for him.
Yeah, could be. Absolutely.
Oh, they just like that O-line.
Oh, that O-line is a nightmare.
And they've got a guy that's $200,000 on it.
I know. And yeah, that's
like I don't feel
more.
I don't feel bad for Riley's decision because he
chose it. Yeah.
He chose it, but it's just you don't want someone to be so defeated, especially someone like Mike
As long as they're
Riley.
on any other team but ours, I'm fine with it.
What?
Them being so defeated.
You want to see Mike Riley? That
no.
Again, we're talking about a guy that's probably going to be on our wall of honor at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Like just like his spirit.
Probably not the
just
BC
looks...
one.
No, not so far. Yeah. Yeah.
And his dad's so nice. It's really hard.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
My heart is just like, ouch.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was his decision.
I wanted him to do well against every other team but us.
Yeah, that's fair.
So far, just Toronto.
Yeah.
Just Toronto, yeah.
Well,
By a Rouge.
And that was, yeah, that's a little tight.
Somewhere Dr. Rouge was very excited.
Very excited. Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
As a Toronto fan, maybe not. But
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. CFPN Fantasy League. So I move up
Just
to
skip right over this part.
And nice 6-0 after a win over Travis. You fall to Safamod this week.
sure did.
I'd help you, but you know, I'm totally due for a crash, right? Like this is completely unsustainable.
Because I can do so much worse.
I've been absolute luck. Next up for me is our ginger friend Ryan from the CFL Horsemen, and you get Ryan from the Canadian Football Countdown.
Oh, yours is going to be
Ryan.
intolerable.
Well, it's Empire versus the Ryans.
That's right.
That's what it's
Good
all
luck,
about.
Andrew.
Oh yeah, well he's going to pick all Calgary. We know that. So, but they're playing Ottawa, so it almost seems unfair.
I know. Well, they played.
I'm tempted to pick like all Eskimos and then have all Eskimos versus all Calgary.
Ooh.
Or
That
just
would
you
be
two pick all Calgary.
Yeah, but then if you don't win that matchup,
Oh, I know. Then
He's
I'll never hear
insufferable.
the end of it. Yeah, no, I got to balance it out a
Choose
little bit.
wisely.
That's that. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Of course, follow all the great shows in the CF Pod Network on cfpodnetwork.ca or CF Pod Network on Twitter. In the Empire League, I'm now up to second, and you moved up a couple of spots as well. Now the leader is still Dr. John Miller.
yes,
Yes.
Professor.
Now, is there any picks that you want to share who not to pick this week? Or
Yeah, I'll tweet out who I'm picking. Don't take any of them.
okay, that's perfect.
Don't take Beggleton. Wrong B.
Wrong B. Breskison was a good one.
Yeah,
He
apparently.
did okay for me.
Yeah.
I guess the only advice we can give is load up on Alberta teams this
There
week.
you go.
Because you know,
That's fair.
because again, that Winnipeg Hamilton game, I think it'll be a great game, but it's hard to pick who's going to stand out on either side because they both have good defenses.
So are you taking Martese Jackson
I may.
as a flex, maybe?
Possibly. We'll see if I got to see a cost.
If he gets a touchdown, I'm just saying.
I know. You're just trying to pull me down.
Yep.
Lovely. All right. I can't wait till I get to play you. It's going to be so much fun.
For one
Why
of
are
us.
you sucking right now?
Who did you pick this week? Not telling. Okay. That's good. Okay. Well, this was outstanding. Tons of fun. I love doing hostfuls with you guys. It's so many laughs. We'll all climb down the mountain together at the end of the show.
You wish.
Yeah.
I'll push you down.
Yeah, Kayla will stay up
Say,
there. Yeah.
rolling down the mountain.
That's right. You know what? I don't like going down mountains.
No.
So I'm perfectly fine staying at the bottom. Where does everybody find you on the Twitters and such?
At Duchess Lombardi on the Twitters and such.
You lovely.
At 56 Parkies and such.
Wonderful. I love how you guys just followed along
Yeah.
with that. I'm at Freepalicious and such, and you can also
Can you
find
imagine someone's actually
Freepalicious and such.
Why does it exist?
It's not coming up. He lied. Ask Empire Pod and such. That's right. Yes, follow all those great spots. Make sure you're following Pay It Forward with Football as well on Facebook. Get those nominations into Quentin and Samantha. Of course, check out all of the great shows on the Alberta Podcast Network at albertapodcastnetwork.com. Make sure you find all of our social channels as well, and you can find those on eskempire.ca. Make sure you go to any of your podcatchers, leave us a review of some kind, help to grow the show. That would be outstanding. We'll be back next week. We're going to talk about getting back into the winning column and welcome a new featured fan. And just as a broadcasting note, we'll be recording on Tuesday night next week, just because on Monday night I'm going to be rocking out with Def Leppard.
You're going to rock till you drop.
Absolutely. That's my plan.
I'll be sleeping.
What?
And I'll be sleeping.
Excellent.
I'll be packing.
I know you will.
You have the suckiest
All right.
one.
Well, we'll have fun on Tuesday. So is it time to get that balance back on offense and score some big points?
Absolutely.
For Commissioner Kayla and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.